Show. Everybody, I want you to go to the Tom Kelly Show. I want you all to know about the Tom Kelly Show.
All right, here we go. Content warning, spoiler alert. We are riding in a Mustang. You are experiencing a Florida post-wedding edition of the Tom Kelly Show. Here we go. Content warning. Spoiler alert, we're driving in a Mustang with the top down in Florida. You are experiencing the Tom Kelly Show. I'm realizing right now that the sun is behind me, subsequently killing my golden hour top-down vibes. So much for that, people. But I am down in Florida, where I just had the most fantastic experience going to a farm wedding for my friend James and his beautiful wife Haley. James I knew in what I would call chapter 2 of my experience at Weeki Wachee Springs State Park. James was the prince at Weeki Wachee, and when I met him, he was a prince who had dreams of playing volleyball, and he was, honest to God, the happiest son of a bitch on earth, man. He swam all day. He swam 3 times a day with beautiful women. And then at home, he chased his dreams of being a professional volleyball player, playing down in St. Pete Beach, playing recreational volleyball with the dreams of going pro. And I was one of many people who said, James, you are crazy. It's never going to happen, man. What are you doing? Why are you playing volleyball? And you know what, man? He followed the voice in his heart and wound up meeting the woman of his dreams. God bless you, James. It all worked out. I hope it's not too windy because I'm driving, oh my God, 60 miles an hour on US 19 heading north. The wedding itself was, honest to God, perfect. Listen, this has been 3 weeks of reunions. I had my Quinnipiac reunion on Saturday. I flew down for this quick wedding, for which I was so very honored to be invited to today. Or I'm sorry, I flew down literally Sunday morning, first flight out, and then I came back. I'm going back to, anyway, lots going on, and I'm subbing in at Colbert tomorrow. The big dream job we were talking about, or the big, most realistic job we were most talking about, looks like that is not happening. So, you know what? Whatever, man. I'm where God needs me to be. It took me a couple of days to get out of that funk. It took seeing old friends at Quinnipiac to get me out of the funk, and even coming down here to see my friends at Weeki. I don't know how to say it without sounding like a whiny bastard, but you know, man, it's nice to be here and hang out with people who just are a little bit outside of the New York hecticness. This is US 19. It's the main strip down here, just past the Hooters, about to pass the Publix, where I don't know if I can get a good shot of this. I'm about to pass the Publix, where I would get lunch when I worked at Weeki Wachee. And then, hang on, I think this is the big one I want to show if it comes up. It's another stop away, but there's also Applebee's. The funny part, every time I would come down here, everybody lived a little further away from Weeki Wachee than we all thought. So what would be kind of funny would be everybody would be like, we don't want to go drinking at Applebee's. We don't want to go drinking at Applebee's. And we'd always wind up at Applebee's, and we would always call it Club B's. You know, it was an Applebee's that would get a DJ and play edgy music, and it would always be Club B's. I'm actually about to pass right now the Outback Steakhouse. I'll see if I can get the camera to go this way. I'm realizing the angle's it's not quite balanced, the camera. but the Outback Steakhouse, where once I had a woman I was in love with who I was dating down here, and she once said, Tom, why don't you work at the car dealership, or why don't you manage the Outback? And you know what, and then the view and everything happened, and I wound up living up here. Other one that's kind of crazy is there's a auto body shop, a mechanic shop we're about to pass, that is shaped like a dinosaur, like a Flintstones dinosaur, driving slow. There it is, there it goes, oh, you saw it, there you go. And yeah, that's the story there. So I'm rented the Mustang. Here's a couple of here's a Tom Kelly theory. If you can afford it and you're only doing a one-day rental, always rent the convertible. Pay the extra money. There's magic in renting the convertible, people. There really is. Get the joy out of it, man. Get the joy out of it. And holy crap, using the nice selfie stick, and God bless, the sunsets behind me, and it's just making me not look as sexy as I want it to be. We're passing Weeki Wachee Springs right there. There she is, the old maid, the old girl, the old man, the old miss. There she is. All right, so let's get some story time as I drive down now not US 50. I think it's County Road 50. Hold on, a little bit of driving time, and oh, the sun's to my side. I'll look a little sexier as I get ready to hit a few seconds of podcasting time here. All right, as I drive, I'll give you one or two quick stories here. My friend Sammy, you know her. She's in my TikTok that went viral. She's the one who asked the question, would you kiss your ex to save my life, to her boyfriend Draven? And then I went viral with the answer, would you kiss your boyfriend to save my life? No, I would break up with you, subsequently making you my ex. Then I would kiss you, saving your life. We would get back together. We would live happily ever after. That's Sammy. She's beautiful, dating somebody new, and she went on a date with a pilot who had a Cessna license, and he took her up in the plane. I have not talked to her. I have no idea if the date went well, but that sure breaks a bunch of my dating rules, people. You should never go on a date as a first date where you are easy to murder and it's easy for them to dispose of the body. That guy has a horn. He has a trucker horn in a Cadillac SUV. He beeped just to freak me out. So if you saw my face on that one, you know what happened. But again, Tom Kelly's dating tip. My friend Sammy went on a date on a Cessna plane with a guy who's a pilot. And my advice is you never, ever, ever go on a date where you are easy to murder and it's easy for them to dispose of the body. I mean, seriously, all he has to do is boom, you're dead. He jumps out in a parachute, you go down with the plane. That's disaster one. Disaster two is he murders you in the plane and then pushes you out the door. I don't know. It just seems dangerous, people. It just seems dangerous. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Just me. But don't go on a date where you're easy to murder and it's easy to dispose of the body. One last story time so I can get my money's worth out of the convertible edition of the Tom Kelly Show. I have a buddy who works in the cargo department of an airport. One day he's checking the animals off a plane and sees a dead dog. They open the animal carrier, pull the dog out. My friend starts doing CPR. He resuscitates the dog. Then the person who comes to claim the animal looks and says, 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna get my money's worth out of driving around in a car for just one last 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna get my money's worth out of driving the convertible for a quick story time. I have a friend who works in the cargo hold of an airport. They go, they check the animals off the plane, and my friend sees that one of the dogs is dead. He opens the container for the animal, pulls the dog out, starts doing CPR on the dog, and what do you know? He saves the dog's life. The dog starts going woof, woof. The dog is alive. And he brings the dog to the next spot, and then the woman who's supposed to claim the dog says, "Oh my gosh, what is that dog doing alive? I thought that dog was dead." Apparently the woman thought she was picking up a dog that had died, and her daughter was shipping the dead dog to her so that way they could respectively dispose of the remains. So the guy wound up resuscitating a dead dog. I don't know if that's really a story. I don't know if any of this is worth podcasting, but there you go, guys. Tom Kelly Show, selfie stick, US 50. Put this one in a bank. Thank you. If you haven't already, hit subscribe on this podcast, on your favorite podcast app or YouTube. And then obviously go follow my social media, Tom Kelly Show. Thank you for being fantastic, folks. And good night. Wiki Wachi.